In a world obsessed with AI, we seem to forget one simple truth. Humans don't run on code. We run on emotional safety, connection, meaning, and belonging. Humans at Work is a podcast where we are exploring the exact KPIs that we need to meet in order to earn the ultimate currency, happiness. Think about it. Each one of us spends at least 1/3 of our lifetime at work. That makes happiness more than a perk. It needs to be an ROI. It needs to be the return on investment that we get in this lifetime. Welcome to Humans at Work. Welcome to Humans at Work, and we are diving into a very, very interesting topic today. We are going to be talking about money and men's mental health. Yes, ladies, please do not rise up and suddenly say that, oh, but that's not difficult for them. It's difficult for us too. I understand it. This is not about comparison, but this is about understanding what's going on with the guys and how society and culture has impacted them as well. I hope that at the end of this conversation, there are men out there who understand that they too need to be a part of the conversation and they too need to start expressing and being vulnerable with us. For this, in the room, I have with me Nikhil Bahirwani, who is a personal finance coach and a leadership coach. So over to you, Nikhil. Can you, to start off, just break this space of yours down and tell me, what does a personal finance coach do? Because most people are going to think you make the money for them, which is not what you do. So what do you do?
I don't do purchase in my paisa double. That's not what I do. And first of all, thank you for having me. I am a personal finance coach, which I think I work differently than people who are financial advisors or who work as wealth managers.
Yeah.
I, in fact, teach people how to do things. So I don't take care of their money. And in my experience, money is never just about numbers. And there's so many stories that people have, so many emotions underneath. So working on different layers when it comes to money, so that people can feel that they are feeling confident and calm by the end of the journey of working with me. So I just don't touch upon numbers, but I also work on things that are underneath the numbers.
Right.
In short.
Okay, so I always I look at everything as a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And most people don't have a very healthy relationship with money. And men often tend to have a very controlling relationship with money.
Yeah.
Either they want to control it or they are extremely controlled by it.
Uh-huh.
So where do you think this is coming from? What's going on and how is it actually affecting them?
So I agree with it. I feel like it's across the board. It's men and women who are, I feel like, don't have a good relationship with money. And it necessarily doesn't mean that if you have money, then you have a good relationship with money. But even having money or not having money, the common theme is that the relationship with money tends to be a problem. So the problems are not the same.
Yeah.
And definitely when it comes to men, there are certain themes that play out with men specifically. Like you said, controlling. I think it's more about being certain and knowing the future. It's a very masculine trait. I feel like you want to know, you want to plan, you want to action. So that is one way to look at it for sure. But problems across both genders do play out.
Right.
But with men specifically, there are certain problems that you could classify as, yes, it happens more with men.
What are these ones? Can you identify a few for us? Like one you said was wanting to plan for the future, right? Predicting the future and trying to have a plan for it.
Yeah.
That's one. What else?
And I think it's also related to, obviously, this tag that we have of being a provider and being the breadwinner. So it comes off with a lot of pressure, I must say. No matter what age you're in, if you just graduate from university or if you're 55 years old with kids and a wife, that also has the pressure of being the provider. So I think there are certain things that come, passed on to us, pressure being one of them, certainty, planning, making the right decisions, investing as well. I feel like a lot of women are not associated with being investors. Mostly it's the men who are taking control of finances at home, who are planning about what needs to happen with the kids' education, budgeting and so on. So these are some norms. I'm not saying this happens across the board,
Yeah.
but this is what we are associated with, that a man is supposed to be better at this or
Right.
in control of this.
In reality, this is changing, but
It is.
but the association, you're
Association.
saying still stays.
Yes.
Right? And if a man is not doing it 100%, then he's looked at as lesser than or failing,
Yeah.
which then again makes him feel not good enough.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're not doing those things, it definitely you're viewed as, like you said, you're maybe not good enough, or you're not doing your job right, and so on. But internally, there's also struggle that happens when you're not able to do that.
So I had an interesting conversation recently with a client, and I want to put this in front of you because I know there are quite a few men I know who go through this, right? Where he had the money to invest, but he was not able to invest it because he had to keep seeing the liquidity in his bank. Okay. And the wife was obviously getting pissed at him and accusing him of not safeguarding their future. And she, being fed up of him, had gone on to do her own investments. Right. And he kept coming back and saying that, I know I should do it. I agree with her, but I'm not able to do it. And when we dug deeper, he said that his father went through a really hard time where they lost everything. And he is not able to trust the system to move things from the bank into investment. And he wants to see the liquidity. And okay, his is an extreme case, and okay, there's work to be done. But I do see a lot of men who have seen their fathers go through a journey where they were wiped out completely and rose back again, being extremely financially insecure, even when they're doing well. And so they're constantly running.
Yeah, I can relate with that because my history with what has happened in my family has been nothing less than extreme. But what the case that you described right now, it's also not just the money conversation, it's also relationship conversation. So as you can see, like when you look at things just from a relationship point of view, I look at things from a money point of view. And money does leak into different aspects of your life. So it probably is going to leak into your relationship or your career and so on. So in this specific case, I can pick up definitely a lot of fear.
Right.
So there's a lot of fear because of what has happened in the past. So there's maybe a financial trauma that someone had gone through in their family. And it is kind of impacting them today to move ahead in making the right or the practical choices. So it stops them from making the right decisions, but at the same time, it impacts the relationship that they're in. There's a lack of communication because everything is being run on fear in some way from the past.
Right.
So obviously that does not lead you to take action or make a plan in some way is what I understand. And obviously you can start talking about lack of trust in the system or lack of trust somewhere else. But I feel like the lack of trust is inside within that person. So there's definitely a lot of fear that they're operating from. There's also not enough trust to make the right choices and move ahead with it.
Yeah, because he's trying to avoid being his father again. He doesn't want to be in that position again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The idea is not for him to grow. The idea is for him to avoid.
Yeah.
And which is what is happening. However, the question that comes up here then is, what does a healthy relationship with money look like?
Definitely not running on fear, because I feel like if you're running on fear, the outcomes of your life when it comes to money are going to be very fear-based outcomes. I feel like the opposite of fear is trust.
Right.
So feeling trust, having trust in the process of whatever you're doing in terms of your planning.
Right.
But also having a certain level of calmness and certainty because of the right steps that you've taken, the right actions you've taken, and you know why you're doing what you're doing. That creates a lot of safety in yourself when it comes to thinking about money a certain way or feeling whatever you feel about money. But if you are operating from fear and a lot of negative, I would call them negative emotions, then obviously it's not healthy, because what's the point of having money and running on fear on money?
Okay, that's a nice way to look at what's the point of having money and still running on fear of money, correct?
Or losing money.
Because
in this case, you're talking about a person who's gone through an experience where the family has lost everything. So what does that create in your mind? You're always kind of thinking about, when do I lose mine next?
Yeah.
So if that's the conversation, or those are the thoughts you're having about money, are you really enjoying the money that you're keeping in your bank or liquidity or whatever words you want to use?
Is it right for me to say that a healthy relationship with money looks like you enjoying your money, feeling safe with it, enjoying it, growing it?
So when I say enjoy, I feel like people mistake it for just blowing up your money.
Which I get.
I feel not being so fixated also around money so much.
Right.
That's also healthy. I feel
Right.
like when you're just thinking about money and having money and growing money, it's very focused on like just money, 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 that you're not focusing and being present where you are.
Right.
But also not worrying about money in some way in your present life.
Right.
So I'm not giving you a clear answer, I know. But you know what are the words that come to me? Feeling calm.
Right.
Feeling peaceful.
Okay.
Feeling stable.
Right.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
So those are the aspects that I would like to have as a healthy relationship with money. I'm sure a lot of other people do.
Okay. So there are two things. One is my belief when I look at money, and two is a belief that has been peddled by the finance gurus.
Yeah.
Okay. One, my belief or the statement I always use is that money has a utility in your life.
Yeah.
Right? It has to afford you something. Now, whether it affords you lifestyle, happiness, peace, safety, calm, you put your 50 words down. Because all of us we have common words, but we have a lot of words that will be different as well, right? So, like money for me is peace of mind. If that is what it affords me, then I will take it in every form and shape, right? And so that dictates how I spend my money, correct? So, money has a utility. And if you know how it is to be used in your life, then you will at some point have a fairly good relationship with it, a healthy relationship with it. There is another belief that the finance gurus put out, which was saying that your money should be working for you, right? Now, when as a personal finance coach, I've given you two statements. Where is it taking you in your thoughts?
I think it has to be a mix of both of them.
Right.
So what you're talking about utility is money being exchanged for either goods, services, peace of mind, experiences. All of that is very important, right? But what the gurus are telling you about money working for you is more about planning for the future.
Right.
So having money in the bank gives you security and peace of mind too. Not having money in the bank, what does it make you feel?
Insecure and poor.
Right.
Poor.
So, if you want to also just think of it as just one thing, which is about exchange, and not think about the future, there are other things that you probably start feeling, which is because you're not doing something for the future, not having enough money in the bank, or not saving enough, or not planning for the future, not investing. But those are the things that the gurus are talking about in some way.
Right.
But it is not just either or, according to me. It has to be a mix of both.
So it's an and.
It is.
It's an and.
It is
so
an
money
and.
has to afford you certain things that you want, things, life, experience, peace, feelings, all of that, and it also has to be working for you to afford you that.
Yes.
Right? It's a cycle.
Yes.
Okay. Bring this into perspective for me with men, because with men, and I'm really talking stereotypes here, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about a society where men have to pay the bills. Financial responsibility is on them.
Yeah.
And that is seen as a good character, right, for a man. What is this doing to them? And there's a reason why I ask it, because as women, we do take on the financial responsibility and we do understand that it's not easy.
Yeah.
And we do experience the weight of it in today's generation.
Yeah.
What is the impact of it on men?
So, I mean, in simple words, the answer is that it is stressful. Okay.
Right.
But I have to just say that I'm an outlier here, because I have been raised with women in my house who are very independent, very financially, I would say, secure, good planners, good savers, good investors. So I've not experienced that pressure myself as much. I'm also the youngest one in my family. So I can answer on behalf of men, but I cannot feel, obviously, a lot of things that they would be feeling if they were not in my position.
Which is fine. I'm asking you as a personal finance coach. When you coach men, when you sit with your clients, whether it's leadership or personal finance, can you see the impact of carrying financial responsibilities?
Yes.
And what does that look like?
It looks like a lot of stress. It looks like disappointment when things are not going your way. A lot of pressure. So these are things that obviously I see men, and I also want to clarify that most of the people I work with are women, because men do have a problem of not asking for help. But the men who do come and work with me, I can see that they definitely have their own pressures, and so much of it is internalized.
Right.
So I've had conversations where things that have been said to me have never been said out loud by that person to anyone else. So there's a lot of suppression of these emotional states that I'm talking about, of feeling stressed, feeling pressured to perform, to be capable.
Hmm.
And if you don't, then you're lesser than. So there's a lot of like a measurement that happens internally, but also externally through the lens of the world. So it is problematic if you feel you're not doing well in your own eyes or the society's
And
eyes.
can you see them doing something that they should be doing differently in order to take away this pressure? Like, can they be handling their money or their relationship with money differently?
Oh, 100%.
What is that difference?
I feel talking
Okay.
and being open about things is definitely something that I would encourage a lot of men to do, because the conversations that I've had, I've been very touched of how, first of all, they could trust a space like that to speak to me about certain things. But regardless of sitting with someone like a coach or anyone in a profession, but talking to a friend or talking to your partner or talking to anyone in the family, if that opening can happen, I feel like a lot of things that men are thinking internally are their roles to perform or their job to do or a certain standard they have to live by
Yeah.
and do certain things. It's
Yeah.
so much internalization that it might actually not be true. So when they open up and when they talk about certain things, I feel a lot of men walk away with feeling like, oh, I'm not the only one who was going through this. Other men go through this too. So it opens up the space for you dropping up that judgment on yourself, for example, just because of conversations that you're having. And maybe being, you can call it being vulnerable, but being a little bit more open about the things that you're struggling with in your mind.
So I have a question here. And I'm saying this as a relationship coach. This is something that I get. And I'm wondering whether this happens between men. And this is the reason why they are not talking, right? When a woman tells a man what is going on with her and she shares, the man tries to solve.
Yes.
Because men try to solve, right?
Guilty.
Yeah. So one of the things I always teach my clients, the men, is to say, are we ranting or venting? Ask before you, right? Because sometimes the woman just wants to vent, right? We want to vent. We want to just be heard. And this has then helped kind of shift things, right? Because the person is not solving. So are we ranting or venting, guys? This is a great question. Use it. It's handy, right? So that's the piece. However, if the guy were to talk to his guy friends, now the guy is going to try and solve it for him, and he doesn't want a solution because he just wants to vent. Could this be a reason why guys are not talking to each other?
I think it's more than that. I
Okay.
feel like it's associated with a lot of things that men feel about themselves. I think one definitely that pops in my mind is feeling weak, that you have a problem that you can't solve, because a lot of men do base their identity on performance or capability as well in some way. So if you're not able to do well, or if you're not doing well in a certain aspect of your life, bringing up that conversation even with your friends and portraying the weakness that you are experiencing in this moment of your life feels like I
failed.
It's like it literally feels like failing
Failure.
and not feeling good about being a man
Right.
in your own sense, whatever that
Right.
might mean. But definitely it feels like weakness. So that plays out definitely as one of the reasons why men don't like to talk to other men about their own problems. That's why
Right.
they'll probably go out, they want to have a good time and they want to come back, but not talk about what is actually going on with them
Right.
in some way. So there's shame definitely associated with struggling through a certain problem in your life,
Yeah.
not being able to solve it, or even going through it is shameful.
Right.
So there is that embarrassment that plays out. There is definitely that judgment that plays out. There is comparison that plays out. I am going through something that others are not going through. How can I even present something like this? I will
Right.
be looked at as different or as lower than them. So all of this again comes in very internally.
But how real is the judgment? Is there judgment actually happening, or the other men are just busy with their own dramas and their own thoughts?
I mean, it could be either way. I feel
Okay.
a lot of things, the way I obviously look at things is it's more internal
Right.
than external.
Right.
But at the same time, you experience different outputs in different groups of either friends who are men or
Yeah.
family who are men. So it also depends on the external. But if you have a channel that is a safe or a trusted space, then most likely it's internal.
Right.
But if there are spaces or there are groups where you feel there is some tension or there is discomfort in bringing up conversations, it could definitely be a mix of internal plus external, I would say. But if you have a trusted space, then most of these issues are internal.
Got it. Okay. I know that in your relationship, it's very hard to talk about money with your partner or with your wife, because even if the wife is supportive, a lot of times it's also about protecting the woman and not putting her through the stress, right? Because a provider of good character will provide and protect. And so that becomes a wall. However, when in today's day and age, right, we're looking at the things that people are doing. What is it that men are doing that is not helping that relationship with money, or that is making that burden heavier than it should be?
So we're talking about relationships?
No, I'm talking about money and men.
Okay.
Right? So what are they doing, whether it's their relationship with money, like whether it's how they treat money or how they're using money or how they're earning money, whatever it is, or how they're thinking about money. That, and how is it kind of not helping it? It's making the weight of financial responsibilities heavier than it should be.
Yeah, it's a good question. What comes to me right now, maybe it's not coming from, things that I've collected as data, but I feel like a lot of men are just running. A lot of action.
Right.
A lot of running. I want to keep making. Nothing is going to be enough. This is my time. I'm this age right now, and if I don't do it right now, I'll never be able to do it again. I have all the energy, so just let me focus on making, action. And I feel like that is very unhealthy. Because you're just operating from action, and it is tiring.
Yeah.
So how will your relationship with money be if you're not feeling anything at all?
Right.
It's all action.
Because the interesting statement that you made was that nothing is enough.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a definition of enough, you can't celebrate any achievement, you cannot tick any boxes, and you don't know where you're running to.
Yeah. And it's also like I think you do understand that a relationship is never just about relationship. It leaks into different parts of your life. Yeah. So same with money. If this is your attitude towards money, and if you give so much space of your mind, of your life, of your actions into just one aspect, which is your career and money, how much is actually left to be present with other parts of your life? And obviously this comes with maturity. I don't feel in your 20s you start thinking like this, but going through certain, levels, I would say, you start thinking about what am I actually doing? Is
there a math that at some age you should sit down and do that says that this is where we are, and if I get to this, it will be good enough, and then work towards it and then enjoy life along the way? Because in your 20s, you're not going to do it, and don't do it also, run. No problem. That's okay.
Yeah.
But when you get to your 30s and you're nearing your 40s, I mean, is there a math? Is there some kind of a sum that we should be doing?
Yeah.
And obviously it's not an amount that is fixed for everyone.
Yeah.
But it has to be a sum of certain things, right? It has to be a calculation of a sort.
Yeah. Can I throw some numbers here or no?
Go for it.
Okay.
For
the first time I'm throwing some numbers. Used to be I think the first achievement used to be back in the 90s or 2000s. $1 million is enough. If I have $1 million, I'll be happy. Today that number has become $10 million.
Okay.
So if you have $10 million, then a lot of people can basically move away. And, if you have a very decent level of lifestyle where you can have travel, you can live well, you can eat well.
I'm pausing you for a second.
Yes.
If you have $10 million, now what does this mean? That $10 million is sitting in my account, or it's in assets, it's in investment, it's in earnings that are coming on a monthly basis? What does this mean?
So this is going to mean a mix of what we discussed before. The gurus were talking about something, and you were talking about exchanging, right?
Right.
So it has to be a mix of money sitting as liquid cash,
right,
but also money that is growing by itself.
Okay.
So you don't use all that money in the next 1 year.
Right.
You just take a little bit of money each year.
Right.
To live the kind of life you're living. That is how you can live with the $10 million amount I'm talking about. Okay, this is now what has become the standard of, like, if I get this money, then I don't need to do anything anymore. But if you want to calculate it for wherever you are in your life right now, this would mean if you just take your yearly expenses,
right,
and you multiply it by 25. So if you spend $1 million dirhams in Dubai to just live the same life you're living, having 25 million dirhams would mean that having 25 million dirhams, I can take money out from this pot for the next 25 years of my life, and I don't need to do any work.
Okay.
That money that's complicated.
No, I have a
It's okay.
question for you. I have
Yeah.
a question for you. Say somebody is a guy, right? He is, say, 35 years old. He's
Yeah.
35 years old. He's married. He's had his, say, first child.
Yeah.
Okay? First child is 2 or 3 years old. Second child is on the way. He doesn't have $25 million in his account. He's not going to
Correct.
have.
Correct.
Right? So when you say $25 million in the account, what does it mean? It means from the age of 35 to 45, he should be working towards building that corpus of investments and everything and get close to that number?
So 25 million dirhams, by the way, not dollars. 25 million dollars is a lot of amount.
Okay, 25 million dirhams.
You asked me.
Sorry, guys, I'm not good with money, clearly.
Yeah. So with 25 million dirhams is a question that was that came up is how much do I need?
Yeah.
But how many people can actually say that I can do something like this?
Yeah.
Is less than 1% or 2% of people in the world.
Right.
So it's not something that is achievable for everyone in their lifetime. That is something that is reality on the ground. But if you want to have a framework in your mind to know how much money do I need, this is the calculation you need to do, which is a lot of money. But most of the people, like this example that you said, someone who's 35 years old, has a kid, has to keep working, has to keep generating, has to keep finding ways of also keeping up with the pressure of increasing income by each year.
Right.
So they have enough money when they retire. And usually if they have expenses that they can take care of for at least 10, 15, 20 years when they retire at the age of 55. So if their expectancy is to live till 75 years old, they can use that money for the next 20 years. That is the calculation basically. But you have to figure out ways of increasing income.
Right. Okay. The assumption here is that the person is working, and for the sake of just conversation, I'm saying has a seamless life.
Yeah.
Works still.
Seamless wife and
Excellent.
life
Best.
also makes sense.
Best. Okay, so has a seamless life, works all the way till say 55,
Yeah.
even 60.
Yeah.
You're running his own business, right? Even after 60, does not fully retire, does consultancy for another 5-7 years, which is what we usually do.
Yeah.
This is normal life. I'm looking at this, right?
Yeah.
Your two kids are there, you've put them through school, you've put them through college, you've done all of this. Now, the man is calculating and going through all of this, right? Some men do it because their identity comes from being able to provide this way.
Yeah.
And they do it with, they take the pressure and the joy and the excitement. It's a certain adventure for them and they make it happen, right? But today, a lot of men are crumbling.
Yes.
They're crumbling because it's becoming harder and harder to meet all of this.
Yeah.
So what is the support system this man needs?
Very good question. Actually, I'm sweating when I'm thinking about the kind of numbers because I can talk about numbers. I can tell you this is how you calculate this.
Yeah.
This is how you can get there. If you retire and if you have money for 25 years of your life, then you're sorted. Then you can put your legs up and be like, I'm going to enjoy my retirement. But it is very difficult for a lot of men to achieve this level of freedom. Although this is a dream for most, but like you said, a lot of people, even after retirement, are going to be forced to work. Unless they have their own kids who end up supporting them. That could be the best case scenario. But if that support is not there, then you're right, because this is the pressure that they're running on. If I don't make enough, let me make how much ever I should be making right now. So that pressure comes in because no amount of money is going to be enough in the future if you think about it. Because if you're planning your life after 60 right now, are you enjoying your life at 35? Probably not.
Yeah.
So this number game is never going to be enough.
Yeah.
So the kind of support system they need is also to be told that you're doing well.
Appreciation. That was a piece I was going to come to.
Yeah. They need to be appreciated for all the efforts they're putting in because, life is not stable.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through different phases in their lives. There are going to be years where you hit home runs.
Yeah.
And you're making a lot of deals. So if you're in a good job, you get a lot of progress. And then there's going to be a phase in your life where you lose a job.
Yeah.
Or your business goes through, a lot of problems where you lose money. What happens to that anticipation that we don't make in our calculations?
Yeah.
That things could get hard. So a lot of men probably who are struggling right now, who are in this phase, it's hard for them to remind themselves of their home runs.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to feel like they are doing everything that it takes and there's not much that they can control right now. except put their head down, focus on the process, and get things done. So I think men need to be also appreciated, like you said. The word is appreciation. What else do men need? I think this understanding, just because I don't think a lot of men are able to feel the way that they would have liked to feel, because they're probably not, it's not easy for us to access our emotions so easily. Okay. So if someone else is able to help you articulate that, or if someone is able to say something that you're not able to say because you're not able to feel, that support is, I think it goes a long way.
So the way that women would like men to read their mind, men would like women to read their feelings. And I think it would make the world a very happy place.
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So if men could read a woman's mind, and if a woman could read a man's feelings, we have solved the problem.
We would have solved the problems if the men accept that this is what they're feeling, because they still won't be able to verify.
That is okay.
That can be a problem, but anyway, if they're able to, help them feel, I think it's very good progress. I think they solve a lot of problems in how good you feel in the moment about a certain situation.
Right, and so the reason why I said appreciation is because recently I had a conversation with a client of mine who is in his 40s, doing very well in his career. Wife has her own career, and they have a young child, and life is good. And he's very happy to provide. He's very happy to pay the bills. He's very happy that his wife and daughter overspend. That doesn't bother him. But I can see the burnout. I can see the burnout, not because money is less, but because he's not getting a thank you, and he's not getting an appreciation, and he's not getting an I love you from the wife or the daughter. And it's not, he's not feeling seen. He's not feeling seen, right? And when I asked him, because he has a very cool relationship with the wife, and I said, okay, why don't you talk to her about it? And he's like, I've spoken to her about it, but her reaction is that, why should I tell you anything? You are anyway like this. And I feel that's when you said that if we can read your feelings, then it makes it easier for you to be the provider, which you anyway enjoy being. It keeps the man from burning out.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's some work to do on the men's side here also. And I can share from my experience is growing up in my 20s and then getting into my 30s, a lot of responsibilities were assumed of being a certain way. When it either comes to let's just stick to money, of doing certain things, so that assumption of responsibilities happens to, I think, each man. So it is a given in your relationship, in your family, because you also enable that in some way by assuming certain things, and those things were never spoken about. And now suddenly, when you're feeling a burnout, there's a need of someone appreciating you for what you're doing, but also you have to keep in mind that it is something that they're not used to. You were not appreciated for 20 years because it was a given. And now suddenly they cannot change their minds and be like, okay, I need to appreciate this person more. Because you've also assumed 20 years of responsibilities in your own ways. So playing out, from that angle, from your view, or what is happening from your side, also has to be acknowledged. While you want them to come and appreciate, but also they're not used to
I mean, he doesn't appreciate himself.
Which is also...
He has to appreciate himself. Because every session starts with me calculating his achievements and getting him to see it and say, hi, can you appreciate yourself? So, and this happens with a lot of my male clients where they don't know how to appreciate themselves because they're too busy saying what next.
Yeah, it's very true.
They're too busy saying what next.
Yeah, it's very true. I think this happens across the board. I don't have things to say. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, because we are so wired to thinking about the next achievement. And I don't think every man is the same, but most men are, very much linking their existence to performing or achieving certain things.
I mean, okay, every man is linking their success to achievement.
Yeah.
Some are feeling like failures because they're not, according to them, achieving anything.
Yeah.
And some are achieving but not recognizing it and jumping to what next.
Yeah.
Those are the two spaces. There might be more, but these are the two spaces that are very, very evident.
Yeah.
And a large part of both of these spaces for men comes through financial
Achievements.
provider spaces,
Yeah.
right? So whether they are earning enough to pay the bills, whether they are growing financially, whether they bought the next house, whether they bought the next car, whether they're able to buy their wife and mother and everybody whatever needs to be bought.
Yeah.
That weight is there.
Yeah.
And
I think it's not just that. I feel like also I know men who successful. Maybe they don't need to worry about money anymore in their lives. That's the phase they're in. But because of other aspects of their life that are weighing them down, money is not a concern anymore. But they're also not able to enjoy that money,
right,
because of whatever else is going on in their life. So there's a huge. I don't think you can somehow break it down into just two categories.
No,
There's so many categories of instances where different men in different situations feel differently about money.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a spectrum of
I mean that
brackets.
was more about success and not money.
Yeah.
I just the like one set is not feeling like they're achieving anything and one is achieving and not appreciating.
Yeah.
That's your piece. But what will it take for men to enjoy their money?
I think a lot of men enjoy their money also.
Yes,
They
that
do.
lot I'm leaving aside. I'm talking about the men who are stressed and not enjoying their money.
I think a lot of men who are not enjoying their money, it could either fall now into maybe a few categories here, like you said. So one would be people who don't have enough money and they're not able to enjoy the money because there is so much stress that goes on with making ends meet month by month. So it's difficult.
Is there, when you see people like that, is there something that you can see which you can tweak and life will be different for them? Like, have you experienced that in your coaching space?
Well, I haven't worked with specifically, cases where I had to tweak a situation like this. But I feel for them because the struggles that they're going through are very real.
Yeah.
And I also know from conversations that they're trying their best to get out of the situation or to do better. And sometimes it's not just about you doing enough or not. Sometimes it takes time.
Yeah.
Sometimes luck is not on your side.
Yeah.
So I feel for my conversations when it comes to people like that. So I don't think it's just tweaking and it works and it just changes. Sometimes it's very difficult.
Sometimes you have to have the resilience to push through and hold strong for a while.
Yeah, and some people are going through really tough times.
And I have a question here. Given the world that we are in today, right? And it's possible for everyone to have multiple sources of income. In the way the world is today, it's possible. Whether you have it or not is a different story. It's possible, right? Is it wise to say I'm quitting my job and I'll start a business and I'll do better in it? Or is there an assessment that somebody can do and say, you know what, hold on to this and build this, or don't go there? Like, how do you assess that?
How much time do we have to discuss about this? Because I quit my job without a backup plan back in 2023.
Right.
So I've gone through an entire journey where I was not enjoying at work, and I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I decided to quit. And I said, I will do something of my own, or maybe I'll look for a job. We'll figure it out. But the only thing I know right now is I don't want to be here.
So one second, let me get this correct. You quit your job because you knew you didn't want to be there. You weren't averse to the idea of doing a job. You said you'll do another job or start a business. You were still sitting open.
Yes, I was still sitting open, and
right.
I'll tell you.
It's not an absolute rejection of saying that working for somebody is absolute.
No. I was not there. I was not there, but I eventually got there.
Sure.
Because it took me a couple of years to understand that I did not like to be in the corporate world the way I was. So this conversation about quitting my job started in 2020, I feel, during COVID. And it took me 3 good years to actually finally not just have the courage to walk away, but be in a financial position where I could do something like that.
Right.
And obviously I'm a numbers guy, so I had to plan my finances in such a way that if I'm not working, I should be able to sustain myself for X number of time. And that X number of time can depend on your preparation. I was not prepared. And I can tell you, I did not have any clarity about what I want to do with my life. I did not know what my passion would look like. I did not know what my strengths are. I did not know the value that I bring on the table. So if you are not clear, it can take a long time for you to figure out what your ikigai or what your passion is, or all these books that you read about. It is very difficult to get to that stage if you don't have that level of preparation. So to answer your question, when it comes to leaving a job and starting a business, the center point of all of this today as a coach, if someone comes and tells me I want to quit my job, my first question is going to be, how do your numbers look like?
Right.
Even if you have a plan, even if you know what you're supposed to be doing, even if you've not transitioned into like beta testing or managing a job and starting a new business at the same time, where are your numbers? Because if you cannot sustain that transition, it's going to be very difficult.
Right. So your first piece is not whether you like the job or whether the business is better for you. It's to figure out your numbers and have a math that can sustain life.
Yes, for
right?
sure.
That's
for
your
sure.
that's your step one.
For sure.
Do what you have to first, make sure life will be sustained.
For sure.
And then figure out whatever else comes.
Yes.
Right? I get the whole thing about not knowing your passion and ikigai and all. And one hard truth over here, not everybody's passion makes them money.
Yes. And passion is painful.
So, yeah.
Passion is not fun like they show it in movies. Or I've read a lot of books. In 2020, I started reading a lot of books. I wanted to find my passion. And it looked like, oh, wow, this is so beautiful. But when you start living it, you start realizing that it is difficult to create something out of passion that is sustaining for the next 40 years of your life.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
So it's not like corporate jobs are bad. They give you a lot of security.
Yeah.
They give you a lot of stability. But passion, it gives you something else. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Sure. I get that, but passion demands a lot out of you. So passion is very often a toxic boss. It can be a very toxic boss on many, many days and in many, many months. Right? And you have to know how to navigate your way through that.
Yeah.
So I get that. However, I have another question for you right now, and I'm asking for a generation that is young and upcoming and struggling in the current workforce.
Yeah.
There's a world out there which has made it seem like it's easy to make money. I'll put 3 posts out and I'll make money. I'll be somebody's social media manager and I'll make money. I'll become an influencer and I'll make money. There's a world of work on your own terms. There's a job list of work on your own terms, right? Freelancer, solopreneur. These are all things that are there, right? Mompreneur. These are all things that are there. I feel there's an illusion of money and finances there. The reality of what you imagine you can make versus what you make, the reality of the return on investment, and not just how much money you put in, but time and energy you put in.
Yeah.
And like when I'm saying this, that whole thing of quick money.
Yeah. So very good question. Also, the reality, I would say, just giving you 2 examples. If you're in a job and you're dreaming of a life where you become a solopreneur or a freelancer, work on your own terms, I can tell you it is possible, right? It has your return on investments are endless, because the kind of things that you probably are going through right now at work and feeling that you're hitting a ceiling or you're not able to move forward, you're not able to get the freedom that you want in your job, all of those problems do exist, right? And to get out of them, you want to move to this place that we're talking about. But from my experience, getting to this place, first of all, without knowing what you want to do is a struggle. Right? It takes a lot of work to get there. So
first is clarity. Don't quit unless you don't have clarity. Okay.
And sometimes clarity.
So clarity and math. Your bank account has to be of a certain kind and clarity of a certain kind.
Yes,
okay?
That's 2 things. And when you're getting there, the realities of running a business do kick in.
Right.
So I've read about a lot of successful entrepreneurs who went through a lot of difficult times, a lot of failures, their stories, very inspiring. But when you actually come and start something of your own, you get in touch with volatility. Some months are going to be really good. Some months are going to be nothing at all. And as someone who's gotten a biscuit every month of this drug of salary,
of a paycheck,
this is going to be something that is new for your nervous system completely.
Correct.
So the kind of thoughts, the kind of feelings, the kind of aspirations, the kind of ambitions, the kind of plans that you left with, are going to be now shaking a little bit because the reality is going to be very different of life.
So you have to befriend uncertainty.
100%,
Right?
but I feel like you have to experience it. No matter how much we talk about it and,
Yeah.
you know, we say this is going to be how it is. The moment you come and touch this side and you feel how the reality of, you know, doing something of your own is, I think then you start connecting with a different reality altogether.
Yeah.
Where you will have to meet new people.
Yeah.
You will have to meet people who are going through similar things than you, because you have to understand their language. They have to understand, you know, people have to understand you as well. And you need to get out, you need to rebuild. So it's not a very, you know, exciting journey of just transitioning. I decide to quit. I start something of my own. I get everything up and running. It takes time. And I'm very impatient as a person. So I had to learn how to be very patient when I'm building something of my own,
Yeah.
after having a stable corporate job, which was a very good corporate job
Yeah.
for 15 years.
Yeah.
So if you're leaving that taste of stability and security, coming and experiencing this side is not all just fun. But then, like I said, these are obviously the negatives in some way, I would say.
Yeah.
The positives are obviously that you cannot go back.
Yeah.
That's a positive. You cannot go back.
You cannot
what
go back.
you taste,
Yeah.
and what
you
you
tasted
feel,
blood. You cannot.
You tasted blood.
Yeah.
So that's a positive, of course, but there are a lot of sacrifices that will have to be made.
I have another one to add to your bank account, your bank balance, your clarity, befriending uncertainty. And 4 is the willingness to wear many hats, including doing sales. Most people who come from corporate jobs, who don't come from a sales role, hate doing sales. They cannot put themselves out there, and they really struggle with it.
That's me. I didn't know how to do sales.
Yeah.
I still don't know how to do sales. I feel I'm very straightforward, very direct. I don't know how to storytell, you know, around sales. So definitely what you're saying is something I struggle with after leaving a corporate job. But like you said, you have to wear many hats, but because you are the product, I feel.
Yeah.
You are the product. So the product has to work in different angles, in all angles, I would say. So it takes time. Is the only thing I want to say. Nothing can just happen
coming to
immediately.
the question that I had, which was that the generation thinks that there are lots of different opportunities out there to make easy money and quick money.
Yeah.
That's an illusion.
I don't think it's an
or
illusion
unless
you crack something and you try it out and you make money while in your job.
Yeah.
And you actually,
and then do it.
You actually know you're making easy money, then lovely.
Yeah.
Give me that idea also. But then if you're just looking at reels or you're looking at some videos that make you feel like this is what's happening in the world with everyone, let me tell you, it's not happening with everyone.
Okay.
If you're able to figure out something, test it out, make money for 2 or 3 months at least. And if it works, then you can definitely jump and be like, okay, maybe that transition can be quicker.
Right.
But from my experience, to create value and to get paid for it, it does take work. So it's not easy money.
Right.
Easy money comes, I feel, as a reward later.
Right.
Of you going through that rebuilding and growing and becoming something that can offer value. It does take time. I don't think people are born to just become something.
Okay. Another question for you. On the topic of running businesses and whatever, right? There's a guy, he's 40, 42, doing well in his career, has always had a job, now has extra money and decides to start a business on the side.
Yeah.
Right? Has the money, can do it.
Yeah.
But he also has to balance his family life. And this is, so should he be starting that business on the side if he doesn't need the money? Is that a pressure that he should be taking, or should he be enjoying himself with his family if he is doing well now? Embrace stability or start that business, or what is the mindset to have to be able to do both and yet live that life?
A very subjective question. Like
it's a subjective piece, but I want perspectives.
If I was today in that situation, and if I had a job at 42, stable, having enough money, but maybe by 42, I'm feeling like I'm not enjoying my job so much, so I want to try something, I would definitely start very small.
I'm not saying quit. I'm saying
while
job,
being in the job.
he loves his job, wants to stay there, but
Yeah.
see, because this is a very common thing that happens here
Yeah.
in Dubai.
Yeah.
Everybody has more than, actually no, I stand corrected. It's happening across the world where people
Yeah.
have more than one source of income, and it's
Yeah.
not just investment. There are a
Yeah.
lot of people who have a job and are running two companies,
Yeah.
right? Or have businesses on the side.
Yeah.
This is happening.
Mm.
But my question again comes, is that money really doing something for you, or is it just adding weight, or what's going on over there?
Some caveats I would like to add.
Yeah.
Okay, based on today's reality.
Huh.
If you're doing something at that age, in that circumstance, I would suggest to start very small. I would not suggest to put a lot of money into doing something that you're treating as your secondary or your backup, or creating a new backup. That's one. And second is, if you're building something of your own, and today I feel like a lot of people are going to head towards that direction of like building something of their own with so many tools that are out there. That should be a requirement. You should not take your money and invest in someone else's business, or start a small business with someone where you're just silently looking after the business and you trust someone else with your money. Because I've heard a lot of stories, of people giving out money just because they had extra funds and never getting the money back. So as long as you have control over that money and you're sizing the money safely, it is not a bad idea just to experience that, but not going all in or not taking big risks.
So respecting your own hard work and your hard-earned money to safeguard it the right way, not be blind and foolish about it.
Yes, trusting yourself more than trusting anyone
else. And for me, that's a thing of respect, right? Which brings me to the question of respecting money.
Yeah.
I think today, with the access to money and access to things and all that we have, we're in a flux always of not having money and yet overspending.
Yeah.
And do you see that happening?
A lot. Not having money and spending, yes. Emotionally spending, yes. Not respecting money in that sense, yes. Getting too much money quickly and spending all of it because it came quickly and easy, yes. Spending when you don't have money also. I mean, there's so many scenarios that play out with different people. So, there are cases where the lack of respect with money, for sure.
Right. If money was a human being, and you as a personal finance coach wanted people to treat this human being a certain way, how would you tell them to treat it? Him or her? Like, money is a human being.
Okay.
And you need to treat them with a certain way. How would you tell them to treat it?
Very interesting question. I think I have to get my creativity on. How would I like to see money as a person? Someone definitely who I control but also has control over me.
So you're saying equality?
But there's going to be two-way control in some way, because sometimes when
so a collaboration instead of control, collaboration is a better understanding and collaboration, or partnership. Partnership is a word. Okay,
for
partnership.
Sure. Sensibility, being sensible. Someone who's sensible. I'm not able to associate the person, but I'm giving you values.
So no, I'm not asking you to describe the human being that money is. I'm saying that how should you as a person be treating money? So partnership is a good word.
Yeah.
That you should be treating this person as a partner.
Yeah.
The other one is sensibility, which means you should be sensible in how you treat this person. Okay.
What is the opposite of being impulsive?
Rational, I would say. Rational, not necessarily cautious, but somebody who thinks things through.
Yeah. So not being very impulsive.
Okay.
I would say. Okay. Someone you have fun with.
Okay, that's a nice one. Yeah. Someone you have fun with. Yeah.
And understanding. Because your relationship with money always keeps changing in different phases.
Right.
So you want that relationship to also evolve and different times understand you and you understand them.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting.
Yeah. So we're saying partnership, we're saying sensible, we're saying not impulsive, responsible would be a word there. We're saying have fun.
Yeah.
Someone to have fun with, and understanding.
Yeah.
Sounds
like a relationship.
We defined a healthy relationship with money. This is what it looks like. If money was a human being, this is what your relationship with money should be like. Okay. I have one last question for you. What is it that men when it comes to finances can stop overdoing? What is it that they need to stop overdoing? Or what is it that they need to let go of? Something that they're doing with money or finances or financial responsibility that is not needed.
Great question. I feel gambling. A lot of men do gamble.
Not
with money.
necessarily poker, but gambling, just in different ways.
In different ways.
Yeah.
And I feel like it happens to men more than women somehow. And you'll find
risk appetite.
Risk appetite is nice, but it's somehow feeding them something. But
Adventure.
it's not necessarily a winning game in some way.
Right.
So I feel like it's maybe not just gambling, but risk management.
Right.
Which is not being, because men are associated with taking more risks.
So don't be overly adventurous with your money. It's not necessary.
It's not necessarily
Okay.
The best option to move forward. Apart from that, I feel like when it comes to, this is more towards habits or maybe tendencies. But when you talk about emotions, I still feel like a lot of people do operate from fear.
Yeah.
And like I said, that fear could be masked as stress.
Right.
Or pressure.
Right.
But if you are operating from fear, and it happens to everyone,
Yeah.
right? It's not like you're fearless and I don't feel fear. But if you operate on extreme levels of fear, then it doesn't make you get to the outcomes that you want.
Yeah.
But also not make you enjoy the process of wherever you want to get to.
So would it be okay to say that we all should bring our fear of money into balance? Yeah, because I'm coming from the point that fear has two aspects. One is to protect you. Its primary function is to protect you.
Yeah.
Right? If you are at a height and you look down, fear is what makes you go back, right?
Yeah.
So it's protecting you. And the other is it's limiting you. So that's the barrier we're supposed to break and grow. Right? So that's its twofold piece.
Yes.
So I'm saying that remove the limiting piece, but respect the protecting aspect of it.
Yeah.
Which means that if you bring your fear of money into balance, then how you choose to earn or spend it changes.
Yeah, I think it all just starts with catching yourself. Like if you feel like you are operating from fear in a certain situation, just catching yourself is enough.
Nice. Yeah.
So if you're able to just tell yourself, maybe this is not coming from me thinking more positively about the outcome or the process.
Yeah.
Maybe this is fear that's playing out. Even just acknowledging that or catching that, I feel like is very helpful just to navigate through the situation.
Right.
But like I'm saying, it's not like you can eliminate fear completely.
Yeah.
It's just about, like you said, balancing it out or catching yourself more and choosing not to operate from that emotion.
Nice. So on that note, we are going to catch ourselves because we've reached the end of that conversation. But thank you very much for that last one. I think that's an easy one for all of us to practice in the coming weeks, which is to just catch yourself with awareness. Don't necessarily have to change the action. Just catch, just observe, and then the change will come. If you guys have questions about your relationship with money and want to get in touch with Nikhil Bahirwani, then you can follow him on Instagram on
Making Sense with Nikhil.
That's his Instagram handle, Making Sense with Nikhil. Also, please like, comment, share, and drop your questions in the comments. We will try and respond to each one of them. Thank you so much. Until next time.